In this video of the Historical Ordnance series, we are going to be looking at the Czech PT Mi-Ba-3 low metallic anti-tank mine. Now, it looks like this mine came out sometime in the 1950s because starting in the 1960s, reportedly, Bulgaria started producing their own licensed copy, which looks exactly the same. And that is listed as the PMT-Ba-3. Now, these mines have been found all over Africa and Middle East and have appeared in Asia. Some of the locations where they have been found: Angola, Kuwait, Iraq, Mozambique, Namibia, Lebanon, Cambodia, and they are currently being used in Ukraine. I found that out by looking up EOD information, and they are mentioned in Ukrainian EOD materials as being employed by the Ukrainian military. These mines are no longer produced, but it looks like they might be in service still with the Czech or Slovak republics. However, when I was looking in NATO materials on the inspections for these mines are not one of them that's listed in there as being former Warsaw Pact mines that are in NATO service. So who knows? It might just be that these are in storage for emergency wartime use. Now, the technicals on this, they are 13 inches wide, 4 1/3 inches in height. Weight is 24 pounds, of which 17 2/3 pounds is the explosive filler, and it is TNT. This is a blast mine, like your traditional anti-tank mines. Supposedly, this can trace its lineage back to some of the mines used by Germany during World War II, the Tellermine 42 and Tellermine 43. I kept seeing those referenced in the historical information on this mine, that it took ideas or concepts from those two, and the Czechs used it in the production of this mine. The mine is made of a bakelite plastic, brown in color. There is no secondary fuse wells. However, on the bottom of the mine, there is a filler plug. There is also a handle that is attached to the bottom of the mine that is also made out of a stiffer type plastic, which slides in and out so the mine can be carried. Now, the temp range on this, it looks like, is -40 to around 104 degrees Fahrenheit. My guess is on that probably is a storage, because the upper range is kind of low even for other mines that we've seen that have a TNT filler. Now, the pressure fuse for this is the RO2, but we also have references to the RO7-1. Some sources in the U.S. military and NATO say that it's the same fuse, just a different name. However, according to the materials I found with EOD, they're actually two separate fuses, but it looks like both of them do work with this mine. Pressure required to set off this mine is 440 pounds. Now, this mine is listed in U.S. Special Forces engineer manuals as one of the mines that the SF engineer sergeant needs to be aware of, probably because they are so damn common across Asia and the Middle East. So the installation and removal instructions I have from them. First off, for installation, you're going to inspect the mine, the fuse body, and this is a RO2. You also inspect the booster charge, which is inside the mine at the bottom of the fuse well. Everything passes inspection. Take the mine and the fuse to the location where the mine's going to be emplaced. Once you get there, you're going to prep the area. If it's going to be surface laid, prep it accordingly for that. If it's going to be buried, start digging the hole. Dimensions of the hole, same as the mine. You want the top of the ground to go to the top of this ring right here on the top of the mine. This is the actual pressure plate up here. Now, once the hole is prepped, you're going to emplace the mine inside the hole. You're going to remove the shipping plug from the center of the pressure plate. You will then take the fuse and you're going to unscrew the bottom of it here. If you see on here, this ring that's called the detonator holder. Once you get that off, you're going to insert the detonator inside the ring. It looks like it's kind of T-shaped, just slides down in there. And then you will screw the detonator holder back onto the fuse assembly. At that point, you're going to take the fuse assembly and you're going to screw it into the fuse well down here. These external threads, which are right here on the body, will screw into this section in here. And that will sink the detonator down into the booster below that location. Once the fuse is inside the fuse well, it's screwed into place, it's secured. Return the shipping plug to the top of the pressure plate, screw it back in, go through, camouflage the mine. It's ready to go. Now for removal. First thing you're going to do, you're going to go to the area where the mine is at. You are going to check for any protective mines that may be around it and any booby traps. If any are located, take care of them before continuing on to the mine. Once they are taken care of, you're going to locate the mine, and this is reportedly, even from EOD sources, nearly impossible to locate with a metal detector, because the only metal that is inside here is the spring and the striker. The tube for the detonator is made out of aluminum. So the only items that will actually get picked up by a metal detector is these inside the spring, and they're really light metal, very hard to detect. Locate the mine, uncover it, and you're going to check for anti-handling devices around the sides and underneath. Just because there's no secondary fuse well does not mean that someone did not modify this mine and attach an anti-handling device. If an anti-handling device is located, destroy the mine in place. Do not continue with removal procedures. If no anti-handling devices are located, you will remove the shipping plug from the center of the pressure plate. You will then unscrew the fuse from the fuse well. You will then unscrew the detonator holder from the bottom of the fuse. You will remove the detonator from the detonator holder. You will then screw the detonator holder back onto the fuse. Set those to the side. You will then return the shipping plug to the mine, and using a grapnel hook and rope, remove the mine from the hole. Clean dirt and stuff off of the mine, then turn in the mine, the fuse assembly, and the detonator to the mine dump for later reuse. Now, these mines in Africa have been getting found with being booby-trapped with anti-personnel mines. Not attaching them to the mine themselves, but actually putting them directly over top of the pressure plate. There actually is a picture out of Angola of a PTM Mi-Ba-3 with 3 Yugoslavian pressure anti-personnel mines, PM Alpha 2s, set over the top of the pressure plate. They located the anti-personnel mines first, and then as they were checking underneath, they found an anti-tank mine. And reportedly, if even one of those anti-personnel mines go off, that will exert more than enough force onto the pressure plate to set off the anti-tank mine. That's a way to take a obsolete mine and put it to use with other purposes, taking it from anti-tank and turning it into anti-personnel, which is vast overkill. It could also be a way of, you had fuses that were damaged. You couldn't use them, but you still want to use the mine. Put a few anti-personnel mines over the top. Potentially the blast from those anti-personnel mines could kick off the booster and kick off the TNT inside the mine. I'll give the person that did that, points for originality. That's something I personally haven't thought of. I do know of anti-handling devices like the MS-3 that have sufficient explosive in them that if that goes off, it will set off an anti-tank mine. This is basically doing the same thing, but instead of putting the anti-handling device underneath, it's putting the same amount of explosive directly over the top. So these mines are out there. They are ancient, based on World War II era designs, but still effective. And they are found all over the place. They are on the Ukrainian battlefield, so it's a guarantee that a bunch of these have made it onto the international arms black market. So they are out there. They are one of those mines that likely would appear in any type of conflict that would appear in North America or in Europe. So it's one to be aware of. The mines are packed. I almost forgot to mention, 2 mines to a cradle, I guess is a way to call it. And then it looks like there's 5 of these cradles that go into a larger kind of crate, which is, it looks like it's made out of steel pipe and that stuff. And then that crate is shipped on a pallet. But when they get individually issued, it looks like it's 2 mines to one of these cradles. I could find no reference as to how the fuse assembly or the detonators are packaged and shipped. Do they come with the mines, or do they come as a separate item? The pictures I've seen on some of the pallets of these mines, I'm going to say it's probably a separate item, which is not unheard of. You see that with Russian mines, especially old Soviet ones. So there you go. The Czech PT Mi-Ba-3 low metallic anti-tank mine. Now, for all my engineer brothers and the patriots and militia movements, always remember essayons.